All right, and then I'm also going to share some slides. Everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Right. So our agenda today, and I'll just kind of go through here. So first time I think our first one in good year plus, I think. So welcome back, everybody. And we are going to go through today. I'll do kind of a, Bitcoin's hit 100,000. What does that mean? We'll kind of, talk about what's happening now, and there's a lot happening. And then we're going to go through. We're going to have from Isaac. He's going to take us through how you keep your Bitcoin and all your cryptos safe. We'll go through that, and then Azuka's got a project. What's the name of the project? Is a football, I know, gaming and NFT, right?
So the name of the project is called Invincible Football Manager. It's a football manager game.
Very cool. And Gwen is our director of Africa blockchain. So she'll be giving a short intro, and she'll be probably doing a full session coming up in one of our upcoming sessions in the next few months here. We want to say hi to everybody, Gwen. There. And if we have anybody from the Odua team, I'm not sure if we have anybody from the Odua Coin team, we will have them give a little update on Odua Coin at the end of the session here as well. Welcome iPhone Pro Max 13, although I don't see any audio, so maybe they didn't get in with the audio yet. Okay, good. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Can everybody see it okay? Yep.
Yes. All good.
All right.
You should
I'm going to go into presentation.
It's not projecting if that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah, click on the
no, I'm going to go into presentation mode now. I just want to make sure you can see my screen. And I see Pete joining here. Welcome, Pete. Where are you joining from? You're on mute there, Pete.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Welcome.
Yeah, I'm joining you from Birmingham, the United Kingdom.
Sorry. Moment. You said joining from where?
Birmingham.
Birmingham.
The United Kingdom, yeah.
All right, very good. We got quite a few folks from the UK today.
Thank you.
Welcome. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you. How are you?
Doing really good. Doing really good. And I'm in East Coast US myself here. All right. Ogochukwu, you're in the UK. Zoe's here as well. Anybody not get to say hello, introduce themselves, say where you're joining us from? Good. All right, I'm sure we'll have other people joining. Isaac, if you guys see any of those AI bots, just don't let them in. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen on the regular share, and let's go into it.
No problem.
But anybody else can obviously come in, no problem. All right, here we go. All right, you should get full screen now, hopefully. New York, welcome. Good. Okay, so what's next after 100,000 for Bitcoin, for crypto? We're going to talk about that a bit. I can get this in a close here. Give me a second. So this slide, this picture, if there's maybe no other one that you remember, this is the one that I want you to remember. Give me 1 second. I'm going to exit presentation mode because it's not. Let me close that. Let me try it again. Okay. So this one, this is what we call the seasons of Bitcoin. So what happens every 4 years, we have something called a halving, where the amount of supply that is being mined, it gets cut in half. And you can see that every time that happens, what happens is, you saw in the yellow, my pointer's not working very well, but the yellow is kind of what we call summer, which was 2024 for us this year. And in 2025, if you look at that kind of burnt orange color, that one is, you can just see every time it just shoots up, right? So you can see in 2013, in 2017, in 2021, And obviously now we're in 2025. The 2021, it was kind of cut off a little bit by COVID. We had a lot of weird things happening there, so it didn't go up like the other ones. But you can see the ones previous, and we expect this one, the prices of everything just go through the roof. And of course, we've already hit 100,000, and a lot of people are predicting we're going to go a lot higher. I'm not giving price predictions. I'm not a financial advisor, but we want to just give people the idea that there's a lot of opportunity right now as we enter this year and potentially longer. A lot of people are talking about it being what we call a super cycle, where it could even go longer up. But we could easily see it go, if you look at those numbers up there, to 200,000, 500,000. When that goes up, everything else goes up. So you hear about crazy things like meme coins, like Dogecoin, or you hear about all kinds of things and other projects. When Bitcoin goes up, everything else goes up. I was reading an article the other day about a guy who put in like $60 in some crazy meme coin, and it went up to like several million. Now, not everybody, that's not going to happen for everybody, even though I'm taking a shot at it this season. But the point is, there is a whole lot of opportunity. Someone let Thema in, please. There's a whole lot of opportunity right now to be able to really make a lot of profit. And I'm very passionate about that because it's a good opportunity for a lot of people who, haven't necessarily had either financial inclusion across Africa, diaspora, a lot of other places, to actually be able to build a lot of wealth for families, be able to just, pay bills, pay off debt, and really benefit from it. So this picture is kind of a really essential picture for you guys to keep in mind. Okay. Any question about that before I go on? Because this is kind of like the money shot of what's happening right now. If anybody has any questions, feel free to speak up or just raise your hand. Okay. So Bitcoin, for those who don't know what it is, digital currency, basically it's money on the internet. You want to think of it that way. It's been operating since 2009. So whatever it is, like 15 years now, 16 years. And cryptocurrencies, we have a bunch of other cryptocurrencies that follow. They basically use the same technology as Bitcoin. Some of them are faster, some of them improved in different ways, but they all kind of follow Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is kind of like the king, and then everything else kind of follows behind that. And this is really giving an alternative, especially for people in Africa diaspora and many folks who are, even, in the US or UK or whatever it is, who haven't necessarily had wealth building opportunities. This gives that opportunity. So for instance, I had a team that was across Africa, and I was able to basically, provide, do all of their pay and stuff. All of that was able to be done with digital assets. So it's my company that I had in Singapore over there. So there's a lot of opportunity to transact and do business and build wealth and do a lot of things because of this new space where, I've been investing in the stock market for quite a while. I won't date myself, but quite a while. And it is very hard to really, it's not like a new, you could maybe get 10% on your money or something like that. But for most of you who know, inflation right now in America is probably like 12%, 15%. We don't really know exactly what it is, but it's high if you ever go and look at the groceries and the price of food and everything else. And it's just getting higher. So if you're getting even 10% in the stock market, you're not going to be doing very well. And if you're getting like 4% in a bank account, that's really not going to cut it. So you got to think about ways that you can kind of diversify that and, improve, for your future. Yeah. So why now? Understanding the crypto bull market, right? So 100,000 was a big milestone. A few years ago, I remember everybody was thinking it could never happen. We could never have $100,000. We've hit it. And there's probably a good chance in the next upcoming years, we're going to see $1 million Bitcoin. So that's what we call hyper Bitcoinization, where you can start paying for everything in Bitcoin, right? That's potentially going to happen. And the thing that here it levels things off is because if you're in Zimbabwe, if you're in the UK, if you're where I was in Asia or Thailand, wherever, everybody, Philippines, you can all access Bitcoin, right? Every single person is capable of using it. It's completely free and open for anybody to use. We want to keep it that way because a lot of big companies are starting to buy it all up now. So we want to make sure that regular people like everybody on this call are actually able to join as well and use it and benefit from the value. So if you would have bought it about 1.5 to 2 years ago, I think we were sitting around $13,000 or $16,000. So that's gone up, whatever that is, 6 times, if I do my math correctly here, roughly in the course of 1.5 to 2 years. So I don't know if there's anything else that you guys can think of that went up by 6 times you could have put your money in 2 years ago today to have 6 times the money. So let's say you say, you know what, I have $10,000, you'd have $60,000 today if you put it in Bitcoin. So that's what's happening, and that's accelerating. It's getting faster. Now all the institutions, all the Wall Street, all the big money, everybody's kind of diving into this, right? And of course, inflation, as you know, if you go to buy eggs in a grocery store, it's bad in America, but it's even worse in Africa. I'm Nigerian on my dad's side, and I know that I've seen the value of the Naira just go through the floor, and pretty much every other currency you can think of is doing the same thing. The dollar is the world's reserve currency, but even that is getting weaker in terms of what you can buy with it. So you have to have another way to preserve wealth for yourself and for your family. And for African diaspora and friends of Africa and everyone else, financial inclusion, meaning you can transact and start businesses and invest and do different things using it. And you can also remit and send money back, as we talked about, using Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And this is a picture about what I was talking about for what's happening to the price of things, right? So if you look at that, you can see in 2016, right, you could get a house for roughly the median price was 288,000. This is in the US dollars, 664 Bitcoin. In 2020, median price was $328,000 going up in dollars. So your dollars are buying you less of a house, and 45 Bitcoin. And then when you get to 2024, we're at 434,000 median price of a house and 6 Bitcoin, which is actually $100,000 Bitcoin now. So about 4 Bitcoin. Okay. So what you can see there is that the Bitcoin keeps on getting more valuable, right? And the dollars keep on getting less valuable. And I can tell you that 430, like I used to live in California, that would buy you nothing in California even today, right? So in the median price of a house, there's like 700 something thousand dollars. So you can see why the Bitcoin is becoming very valuable, right? Is that you have all of these, you have all of the things that you want to buy, whether it's food, gas, just going out, and you can see Bitcoin is getting more valuable while pretty much all the fiat money, which is dollars and everything else, is not. Okay. All right. So long-term hodling, these are the approaches you can use to invest in it. Hodling just means hold on for dear life. It means you just hold it, right? Get it and just hold it. Now, don't get scared, because what's going to happen is it's going to go up, down, and it has really big moves up and down. If you're hodling, just hold it. Like I said, if you held it for the last 2 years, you would have had a lot of ups and downs, but you would have gone from like 16,000 to 100,000. Okay. Staking and yield farming. So this is a little more advanced. You can start getting like interest on your Bitcoin and your crypto. You can put it on different platforms like Uniswap. There's a bunch of different ones you can use, and they will give you back different, different amounts. Coinbase even has it. So there's a lot of different options there as well. Altcoin investment. So those are things like Ethereum, if you guys have heard of that, or this cycle Solana. These are other coins. What happens is when Bitcoin goes up like by 6 times, I think Solana went up by like 20 times. I got to look and see. But these coins go up a lot more. They're much more risky, but they go up so much more. And again, if you left your money in a savings account, you're getting nothing, or like 3%, which is not going to do anything for you. But if you have one, just not everything, but money that you were going to use for coffee or just like for a weekend trip, if you put it in here, you would have been able to make 6 times that money, right? So that's pretty good, or 20 times, depending on what you use. Meme coins. Now, these are super speculative. I would not put any money that you need in a meme coin, especially. But like I told you, I remember what the meme coin was like a couple days ago. The guy put in $60 and he made several million just from holding that meme coin. So some of these are insanely profitable, but just understand all that could easily go to zero. Really risky. Hi, iPhone. Welcome. Who is that? Yep. Hi, who joined? Okay, were you saying something? Cool. All right, any questions about the different ways?
I'll speak in the chat, so you can carry on.
Is there a question in the chat?
No, I'll deal with the chat. It's all right. Don't worry.
Okay, cool. All right, so those are some of the different ways that you can invest in crypto and Bitcoin. And depending on what you do, if you're really new to it, I'd probably just get an account on Coinbase in the US, or you might do Binance or something in other countries. Africa, Binance is really good as well. And I would just buy some Bitcoin and just hold it, right? Instead of doing a lot of fancy stuff. But as you learn, you can start to use some of these other techniques as well. And we're going to have a lot of sessions coming up about different ways that you can invest and use crypto. Global impact, financial inclusion. This is one that I'm really passionate about, right? That, like I said, dad's from Nigeria, my mom's side of the family is Caribbean, and a lot of nations are really being impacted by inflation and the currency just going down in value, right? And also the other thing is a lot of times you can't really, you know, do anything in terms of like doing a business or investing because it's very hard to get money to those different markets. But now with Bitcoin, I could send it to somebody immediately. If I wanted to send, something to Edna and, Edna was doing, a project for me, I could send her a Bitcoin in the next 5 minutes, no problem, right? So that is super valuable. And I could also use other coins like Binance Coin. I used to use a lot. So this is really an opportunity for people to be able to be financially included. And basically 2/3 of the world is not in the banking system. So this is a pretty big deal, right? Empowering African diaspora, like I talked about, African Americans, diaspora, different communities often face barriers getting into the financial system. And this also gives a good opportunity for that, where, I'm in some of the groups like on Facebook. I don't know if anybody's from the Black People Crypto group here, but we always have people who are like, I just made this much. I mean, it's really life-changing money for people. They're like, oh, I'm buying a house now. I'm getting this, I'm getting that. I'm paying off my debts. So there's a really great opportunity. And I think as Martin Luther King said, that the last, part of the civil rights struggle is the economics. And I think this is a really big part of that. Okay? And then Africa's growing role in cryptocurrency. So we can see we got multiple markets, Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, who are all becoming hubs in Africa. And people are using crypto for remittances, sending money back to family or sending it cross border and hedging against inflation and the currencies going down in value. So, for example, I think, and I don't know what the in Zimbabwe, the currency I think had really like a very high level of hyperinflation. Have people been using crypto there at all or Bitcoin at all? Not sure if she's there. Are you there, Edna?
I'm here. I'm here.
Are people using, because I think the currency had a really huge amount of devaluation or hyperinflation. How are people using any Bitcoin or crypto, or are they using other approaches to deal with that?
Of course, they're getting used to the cryptocurrency. There's an issue of not having an understanding of what it is really and what it can do to the masses and how best it can help in small businesses and all. So there's still that gap in the marketplace. But our local currency is Zimbabwean ZiG. They say it's backed by the gold, but it's I don't think so. It doesn't have
Okay.
value, not the gold value. So it depreciates every minute. So mainly we use the US dollar and the Bitcoins. Yeah.
Okay, so that both are being used. Okay. Yeah, and that's we talk about it being able to help devaluation, right? Because if your currency is going down all the
Right.
time, you need an option to be able to, to
True.
something else, right? And then even if you're, in the US, so you're elsewhere, right? Again, your money in the bank is just losing value if you have some money in the bank, lucky enough to have savings. A lot of Americans don't have a lot of savings, but if you have some, it's just losing its value basically. So again, being able to put in some Bitcoin, that's gone up like 6 times in the last year and a half, 2 years, versus your money just kind of slowly losing its value, right? So it's very valuable wherever you are. And that's that picture again that showed you. So going to 100,000 is a huge milestone for Bitcoin. Everybody's been waiting for this for a long time. And the price you're going to see, like you see, that chart is going up, up, down, up, down, up, down. But you can see if you look at the overall trend, it just keeps going up, right? So over time, that's the whole point of hodling or holding on for dear life. As you hold it, it's going to keep going up, 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 up over time, hopefully. I can't guarantee you forever that will happen. But when you have the US doing a strategic Bitcoin reserve, I think Russia's doing one. I know China is mining Bitcoin. I know that we have BlackRock and a bunch of other big companies, MicroStrategy. They're all into crypto. When you see that happening, that is absolutely going to mean that, there are probably very big things. Companies like BlackRock don't go buy something if they don't expect it to go up a lot. And what this Raoul Paul, the guy who did this chart, he says this is one of the first times in recent history where regular people can front run Wall Street, meaning Wall Street has to wait for all this regulation and everything to be able to invest. And they've been waiting, although they're starting to get it now. They're probably going to get it in this next few years. But regular people like you and me, we can just go and buy it right now, right? We can go buy this, put it away, and then, we can just kind of use that to hopefully get the value, where that's not usually the opportunity. Usually, if any of you have been invested in anything else, especially in the US markets, it's always the companies in Wall Street that get it first, and the high net worth, kind of investors, and then regular people get it way, way, way at the end. This time, you actually have the opportunity to get it before them. Of course, that's why you see a lot of FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So the media says, oh, it's a scam. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. But the thing is that basically this is one of the first times that regular people can front run Wall Street and kind of the really rich folks. So take the opportunity. Were there any questions, Isaac, in the chat, or is there that I should be responding to? Sorry, I can't see the chat.
Uh,
Questions as yet.
no, there are no questions, but when you talked about people saving or buying Bitcoin and doing the yield farming, I just pointed out that when you're using the Coinbase wallet, if you store your USDC on the Coinbase wallet, you can earn up to 5% APR yearly just by storing it without doing anything, no staking. So yeah.
Yeah, Coinbase is very good and they're fully regulated, so they're one of the safest ways you can start out. I use Coinbase all the time. Thanks. Okay. All right. Any other questions before I go on? Welcome, Eileen. Where did you join? Where'd you join from? Sorry, I can't see the chat. My thing is not behaving. Where did Eileen join us from?
Oh, she's joining from London.
All right, welcome, Eileen. All right, so the global impact of Bitcoin. BRICS is another really big kind of game changer in this, right? So you have the gold-backed currency they're looking at, which will probably be a digital currency. There's some people that I'm talking to right now, and I think, you know, Edward, he does like the Q Gold. So we have one that has like African gold backed as well. And then there's also, they're also making their own kind of international cryptocurrency probably that will be used as well. So this is Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and the other countries you can see. This is a really big deal because before this, basically, I mean, the dollar is basically the only game in town, and especially for Africa, you know, basically the only game is basically you get kind of a loan from the US, from the IMF, or things like that. So this is actually changing the landscape. If you're in South Africa right now, Ethiopia, they've already joined BRICS, of course. South Africa is one of the founding members, and quite a few nations also in the Middle East. So you're going to see a lot more movement where people have options and they're going to start using these currencies to trade among these countries. So you should watch this trend very carefully. Pretty sure that Bitcoin is going to be very important. Like I said, China is a big miner of Bitcoin. Russia is doing strategic Bitcoin reserve to compete with the US now that the new administration, Donald Trump, is going to be doing strategic Bitcoin as well. So we're going to see a big race. It's game theory, right, of everybody racing to get as much Bitcoin as they can and also other digital currencies for trade. Okay. So what's coming up next, right? Mass adoption. More and more people are learning about it. Like you can see Larry Fink from BlackRock there, the spot Ethereum ETF, all this stuff is on Wall Street, it's on stock markets. I was talking to a friend of mine at a church. I do a volunteer thing over there. And he's, just a regular investment advisor told him, I get some Bitcoin ETF. So this is really starting to get to the point where everybody is starting to get it, like for their retirement accounts and all this kind of stuff. So it's beginning to move a lot faster. The ETFs that came up last year, that really accelerated things. Before that, people didn't think it was as legitimate, but now that it's like you can get it in the stock market, basically, even though remember, when you get in the stock market, you're not actually holding real Bitcoin. It's just like on paper. It's a paper, that represents you have it, but it's not. Whereas if you go to Coinbase and get it, you actually have the actual Bitcoin and you can send that to your wallet, like Azuka was talking about. But nonetheless, big adoption, regulation, governments are coming in. We expect the US to really get some good regulation in the next 4 years here. And then, because we have a very pro-crypto, people elected all the way across the board, and integration with traditional finance as well. So we're seeing it going into, like we said, the ETFs, the stock markets, companies, MicroStrategy, all these folks are all getting into it. And then other cryptocurrencies, of course, Ethereum is a really big one. Solana is a really big one in this cycle as well. That's been doing really well. Each 4-year cycle, you'll have different ones that do really well as far as these altcoins, we call them. Okay. And then stable coins, which is like dollar coins. So we have USDT, which is Tether, and we have USDC. These are basically stable coins worth $1. These are really great, especially if you're in Africa and you want to hold some money in dollars, you could just get a stable coin and hold it, right? So, and if you're in Zimbabwe and you're like, hey, I need some dollars, you can just get some USDT and you can just hold that in your wallet, and that's going to hold the value of $1, right? You can also do, obviously, gold-backed coins and, of course, Bitcoin. And then NFTs and blockchain innovations, right? So non-fungible tokens, this is like artwork. And this artwork can be very valuable, really, just because it's, people like the art. And a lot of rich people use it as a way to save on taxes as well. So just like people buy physical art, people are buying NFTs as well. non-fungible tokens, it's called. Okay, so the crypto portfolio, this is what you would allocate potentially as an example. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, just giving you an example here, right? You have blue chips like Bitcoin, Ethereum. Those would be like the major part of what you got, like 60%. Altcoins, you could do, maybe 20%. So that's like, I showed Solana, Polkadot, Chainlink, etc. So you do 20% there. And then like 10% into meme coins, right? So Dogecoin and Shiba Inu and all of these, which are the really risky ones, but most of them are probably going to go to zero, but you might have one that goes to 1 million. So you never know. Like I said, I'm definitely doing some meme coin plays this cycle. And then cash and stable coins, I think as good as you mentioned, just put it in the Coinbase wallet, put it on Coinbase. You'll make 4 or 5% in interest just by leaving it there. So, that's pretty safe. And it's basically the value of a US dollar. But it's also in the market. So if you go like, oh, you know what? I want to buy something, you can quickly switch it over, which is also really good. Okay. So this is just an example, like allocation of the portfolio. Any questions about that one?
I have one question for the last one, stable coin.
Okay.
So
Go to the previous one.
yeah, so this one is directly mapped to the, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I have a question for the last bullet point, the stable coin. So it will directly map to the USD currency, right?
There are other stable coins. I think there were Euro ones, even though their regulation is made a little tougher in Europe. But there are other stable, but the main stable coins are US dollar ones. Yeah. Yes.
So this one will be always mapped to the USD currency. Suppose if USD currency will go up, this one will go up, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. So if
Thank you.
you're in another country, you're in Africa, you're in India, you're in Asia, East Asia, wherever it is, this is a great way to just have, some
US.
dollars you can hold. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
I
Thank
can
you.
tell you, like when I was sending funds back and forth with family in Nigeria, it's almost impossible. But it's so easy to get stable coins. So
Okay,
yeah.
got it. Thank you.
Yep. All right. Any other questions on this one?
Yeah, John, there was one question that came up from Marie Denise. She was asking, so I've read a lot about dollar cost averaging. If she had bought Bitcoin at 48,000 as it's worth, is it still worth buying more Bitcoin as it's at its current price, or should I wait for the price to go down? My plan is to collect profits when it goes up, but also keep my original investment in place.
So when you're dollar cost averaging, which is just for Marie, that's a really great strategy. I do that, right? Basically, it means every week, every month, every, fortnightly, whatever it is, you're going to constantly just put in a certain amount, $50, $20, $100, whatever it is that you have in your budget. And you don't really worry so much about the price because one day it might be 100,000, another day, like I said, it might be 80,000, then 120,000. But the point is you get the same average kind of going in and you don't worry. So don't worry about timing the market because even the very best traders cannot time the market. Even if they tell you they can, they're lying. It's almost impossible to know when is the top, when is it going to go down. We don't know. So dollar cost averaging is a great strategy. I use it. And again, you just keep on buying the same amount. The only thing that's very key to have, right, is that you want to have an exit strategy. So let's say that, if it doubles, you're like, you know what, I want to take some profit, sell and get that profit. Because if you don't, you can watch it go all the way down again and not get your profit. So just keep dollar cost averaging. I'm always dollar cost averaging. I'm always buying. However, make sure you have a profit-taking strategy, we call it, which means, okay, you know what? I bought this coin at $100. It's now $200. I'm going to take like my first $100 out of there. And then if it goes up and doubles again, I'm going to take out like another $100, right? So have a strategy for when you want to take some money out, which is really good. Then you can put it into stable coins or put it back into fiat dollars, whatever you want. But take your profits, but absolutely dollar cost averaging, great strategy. Any more on that question?
Oh, that was it. Thank you.
Okay, great. All right, so risk management, portfolio security, diversification. We want to spread our investments across, like we said, the different categories we talked about there. Rebalancing, so regularly rebalance, what you have in different ones. You don't end up really heavy in like one single coin and that coin goes down and you're in trouble. Make sure you balance things up a lot and watch where the market is. Security, which Isaac is going to talk to us about shortly, how to keep your crypto safe. Very important because you're kind of your own bank. Unless you leave it like on Coinbase or something, which you can do, but I wouldn't leave everything there. And then stop losses and take profits. So I talked about stop loss is like if you're a trader, right? Then you are going to basically take the, you're going to say, you know what, if it goes down a certain amount, I want to automatically sell. I want to automatically take my trade off the table. I don't do a lot of trading, by the way, but if you are a trader, you need to do that. And then we'll probably have somebody in one of the upcoming sessions talk more about strategies for trading. I do think we have some really good traders in our group. And then taking profits is basically so the last cycle I did pretty well, but one of the things that I wish I had done better is taking more profits, because when it was really, really high, I could have probably taken double what I took out and held on to a lot more, right? But I kind of I was like, oh, I'll take some, but I watched it go back down, and that was not, that was a lesson that I will not repeat. So take profits. Yeah. All right, let's see here. How can the diaspora get involved, right? So obviously our meetups that we have, the Wakanda meetups, a lot of other meetups, you can just involve yourself in projects, start small and learn and buy, get educated. That's what our group's really about, right? It's all about getting educated, building community, learning about different projects, meeting with people, because that's how we really do things, especially in digital assets. And I think it's really great for Africa Diaspora, Friends of Africa as well. Join the communities. We got a lot of different crypto-related communities out there. You can learn about them there. Great Facebook group that I like to participate in, the US. IPO Crypto is a really good one. And invest in the future. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the emerging projects. Start with the big ones, the blue chips like Bitcoin. You can't go wrong there, right? The other ones, start learning about it first and then go in. Don't let somebody give you like who's he, what's he coin, and you go buy it and it goes to zero tomorrow, because that happens. Okay, it happens all the time. Don't let that happen to you. So make sure that if you're going to get a coin, get Bitcoin first. Get something that's like a really, a top tier one, and then go from there. Okay. And then closing thoughts, right? So it's a game changer. It is. I can do transactions with Edna, Zuko on my team that I've, have across Africa, no problem. Really nice to do. Easy, whether it's Binance Coin, what I'm using, Bitcoin or whatever it is. In African diaspora, it's a great way to connect and be able to actually be involved in the economic growth and empowerment. So this is a really good opportunity. And start exploring Bitcoin and crypto, learn more about it, the technologies, and benefit you and all of our community. So those are the points I have. We have a lot more. I know I'm a little behind schedule here. So I'll take a couple quick questions and I'm going to hand it over to Isaac. Any other quick questions?
Not as yet, there doesn't seem to be, but if anyone wants to unmute, you can unmute now and share your thoughts or add any questions.
And we'll have more time at the end of the session as well, right all the way at the end, if anybody else doesn't get to ask now. So.
I have one question, like,
Uh-huh.
does it make sense to invest in Bitcoin or some another coin like Solana and other things? Because like Bitcoin is already 100K, so the chances for return will be more in other coins now, or does it still make sense to invest in Bitcoin?
So that's that portfolio allocation slide that I had, Vimit. And man, again, I am not a financial advisor, but you can see I'm saying like, look, 60, I say even if you're new, even like up to 80% should probably be like in Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum, right? Because those are the ones that like, as long as there's a crypto market, you're going to have Bitcoin pretty much. So these are like the safest bets you're going to get. Now you're right, Vimit, you're not going to get as big a return. For me, I'm probably allocated pretty close to this really. I would think in my allocations, because I want to make a lot of money in those meme coins, those altcoins. In this next year that I showed you in that chart, we expect really big gains and it could go longer. So I want to get some of those gains where I have some meme coins that go to a few $1 million. That'd be wonderful, right? I mean, obviously, if some of them go to nothing, I'm not going to worry about it. It's not most of my investment, but you don't want to miss out. But if you're starting, you're brand new, I would definitely start with the majority in like, Bitcoin, Ethereum, because those are really the safest ones. But you're right, Vimit, they're not going to go up as much. It might double for you, but you could go up maybe like 100 times if you had something from the altcoins and the meme coins. But you could also go down by 100 times, so just know that.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just starting, so I'm thinking like I have most investment in mutual fund and all. So I'm think like to take more risk, but if I will invest in crypto, I'm looking for more return. So do you think like I don't know like so that's why I was thinking like should I invest in Bitcoin or just like another more risky one? But even if it's go zero, it's fine with me.
So I think, are you in the US or India, or where are you located?
I'm in Thailand right now.
Thailand. So if you have it on the stock market, a lot of countries have the Bitcoin ETF. You can buy that in your retirement or your market account, right? You can do that. That's one way that you can get exposure to it. And I like that because like if you have retirement accounts and things like that, actually you can put it in there as well. And that's one thing. But then I'd have like, let's say that you've got like $100 or $50 a month. It's like disposable income. You're going to just use it to like go shopping, get a coffee or see a movie. Take that and put that into an account where you're going to do like some more risky stuff. You're going to try like meme coins. or altcoins. Because you're like, you know what? I was going to just throw that money away for some coffee anyway. I don't care, right? So use that money, and then you can try the meme coins. But if you find a good one, I like Shiba Inu, by the way, Pepe, Dogecoin. Those are pretty good meme coins. But if you get a good one, those are going to potentially make you 100x. I mean, so
Okay.
that's, so even if everything goes to zero, but you have one of your $50 investments go 100x, that takes you to whatever, do my math here, $5,000, right? Or it could even go more. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the way venture capital works in Silicon Valley. Usually they have an investment portfolio like 15, 20 companies.
Okay.
90% go to zero, but they have one or two that go all the way up, and that's how they make their money, right? So I view it like basically being a venture capitalist, basically,
Okay, got it.
for regular people.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Great. We'll come back to more questions at the end because I want to get over to Isaac. Isaac, I'm going to stop my share. I don't think you're sharing anything screen, but if you are, you can. You want to go ahead? Isaac's going to talk to us about how we can secure our crypto and keep it safe.
Sorry, can you hear me, John?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, we just got one more question that came through from Dave.
Okay, go ahead. What was the question?
Yeah, what percentage of your total portfolio is in crypto?
For me, I'm pretty aggressive on this because I'm in the US and I know that there probably, when it's time for me to retire, there's probably not going to be much retirement available for people anymore. So I'm not depending on any government retirement. And if you're not in the US, you're probably not depending on government retirement. Most likely UK, maybe you have it. So for me, I have a pretty high allocation. I will give it Zach, but pretty high allocation in crypto because for me, I really want to aggressively build wealth. And also for me, I kind of have a personal mission of being able to, do projects and integrate with Africa and diaspora and be able to really, fund and support different projects. So I'm also more aggressive. I think I've been in this though for, how long has it been? 8 years. So, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily do the same allocation that I do though. You should do something that's a little more comfortable for you, I think. Cool. Isaac, you want to take over? We'll have more time for questions at the end.
All right, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you have slides or should I just?
No, I'm not going to have any slides. I'll just talk through it.
All right, go ahead.
1 moment. Let me just swap my screen. Hi, everyone. My name is Isaac Alabi. I've been in crypto, probably seriously in crypto since 2021. I did dip my toes in a lot earlier than that. When I didn't really understand it, it was just a case of just being told to just buy Bitcoin. And I bought Bitcoin, and I think I lost Bitcoin somewhere in the blockchain world. So and I've gone through different realms of trading, getting into DeFi projects, staking, and lots of different things. And one of the main things I always seem to come across is people not really understanding the importance of what you're actually involved in. And when you're dealing with crypto, you're on the blockchain, you are your own bank. And that is one of the most important messages I probably try to get out to a lot of people that I come across, is just understanding how to manage your finances. Because if you're going to be involved in transacting on the blockchain, and you want to be able to leave a legacy for yourself and your family and your family's family, it's important that you understand how to secure your crypto and how to let people know that you've got crypto secured as well. So I'll just talk through some of the high level stuff. I won't try and go into too much detail because we go into one area and we can just end up going down a bit of a rabbit hole, but I'll answer questions as we go along or at the end. And I'll also highlight a few, I'll share some websites that are very good to check out if you want to do some extra due diligence on projects you're looking to get involved in. I'll also talk about some of the devices that I use to transact on, and devices that you can also do some research on if you're comfortable with transacting on crypto on a blockchain. So one of the main things that people need to understand is that when you're dealing with crypto on a blockchain, you have you need to secure your money. And there's lots of different ways of securing your money. And then one of the first most fundamental way of securing your money, regardless of however amount of crypto you have, whether it's a meme coin or it's Bitcoin or it's any other type of asset, it's using a hardware. And hardware wallets are basically, and I have one here that I'll show you shortly, is a device that allows you to store your private keys, which are generated by the blockchain, offline. You don't have, it isn't kept anywhere in any form, any digital form. It's generated once, and you basically have to save that onto a platform outside of the Web3, your laptop, or anything else like that. And the most recommended brands are usually two of the ones that you may already heard of. One of them is called the Ledger, and that one's called a Trezor. I've got here my Trezor wallet. So I'll take that off. It just basically looks like this. It's just this little device. It looks like a USB, small thing. I also do have a Ledger as well. I don't keep that in close proximity because I have a lot more crypto in that, so I keep it totally separate to wherever I am, in a more safer location. But I keep my Trezor closer to me because I use that more for day-to-day operational transactions when I'm moving coins or I'm trading or I want to do some remittance transactions. So that's basically like my local wallet that I would have to hand, and this is probably what I would recommend to people as well. These wallets usually range from around 50 to 150, probably I'm saying in dollars, probably like $200 max. And what I would also recommend is when you are looking to try and purchase one of these wallets is you go to the source as well, because you will sometimes find that you can get these secondhand. Not trying to say they're not ethical, but you don't want to get one of these wallets from Amazon, for example. Even if the shop is on Amazon is perfectly okay, you don't know if it's been tampered with or if it's been sold secondhand and someone has already had access to it and reboxed it. So when you're purchasing your very, very first hardware wallet, please go to the original source, go to the shop, whether you go and get the link online, or you go to their Twitter account or their website, go to their source and make sure you're purchasing your device from there. And once you've done that, obviously, you know it's brand new. Try not to buy secondhand, even though it is from someone that you trust. They might have got it from somewhere else that you don't know. So, and you do not want to buy a device that's been compromised. And like I said, it's a very cheap investment for something you're going to have long term. Once you have your hardware wallet, all this is doing is just basically facilitating you accessing the blockchain to view your coins, your money. And that's all it is. If you lose this device, if you lose this physical device, do not panic, because all it is just a gateway for you to access the blockchain. I've had friends, I've helped loads of people get onto the blockchain to secure their wallets. And one of the things they've panicked about is that they've hid it so well, they don't actually know where it is anymore. So if you lose this device, it's fine. The most important thing you need to keep to hand is those 12 or 24 words that are going to get generated from for your device. So once you have those words, memorize them, write them down in a book, somewhere safe that you can always access them from. If you break this, you get water on it, you lose it, you move house, anything. Once you've got that device, you can then go back onto the blockchain, buy a new device, and then you can then re-access your original data. All of your coins and everything else will still sit on the blockchain. People pay a lot of money to be able to access these devices once they've lost them, because they can't remember their security phrases, their private keys. And that is the most important thing that you must remember about dealing with transacting on the blockchain, being involved in crypto, is remember your private keys. Anything else is obsolete. Before I go on to the next type of device that you can use to access the blockchain and secure keys, does anyone have any questions? Cool. There's also software wallets, and software wallets can be a little bit more complicated for some people, but can also be a lot more easier to get in. if it's your first time getting into crypto. MetaMask, for people that are doing different types of transactions, trading on meme coins or any other type of coins, moving from platforms they're not really too familiar with. You can use MetaMask as a bridge to get in, to get involved in, to be able to access your keys, your crypto. And we also have Trust Wallet, and there's another wallet called Exodus. I've been using Trust Wallet for quite a few years now. I do not use it for any significant amount of coins that I want to transact with. I literally just use it for operational, if I'm moving, if I'm doing a trade or I'm setting some remittance, smaller amounts. I probably don't send any more than 1,000 through Trust Wallet. As much as the name is very trusted, and I've not experienced any issues. There has been a lot of misinformation been spread out about Trust Wallet, people being hacked and whatever, but usually from when I've done my own due diligence, it ends up being down to the human error of how they've been using their Trust Wallet. Like the hardware wallet, if you have your private keys, you don't really want to keep it online, but with Trust Wallet, because it's a mobile app, or you've got on your phone, you're going to have it in a digital form, so there's not really any way around it. As much as I've generated my private keys from Trust Wallet, I've then making sure it's kept offline. So as much as I do a lot of transactions with it, everything is kept offline. But where you find with what I found, with things that are free, is that there's also a higher level of risk. So just to manage your risk, where you're using something that you've not paid for, and we are the market really for them. They're going to be selling products on it. You don't know. You don't want to be using it on the Wi-Fi or anything else like that. Try and mitigate the risk as much as possible, because as much as, yes, it is called Trust Wallet, you don't really want to get complacent and do transactions on it that you think are a lot more safer than you would be doing on your hardware wallet. Does anyone have any questions, or has anyone used a Trust Wallet, MetaMask, or any other software type of wallets that involves using a mobile app?
And I guess one thing to explain for people who are new, a wallet, you can kind of think about it like your bank account in crypto. So whether it's hardware or whether it's one of the software ones you talked about, you can think about it like being your bank account, basically. And for some of you have bank accounts that have like little passkey things or things like that. You can kind of think about it a similar kind of way.
Yeah. And just to carry on from what John was just saying, is the difference between being involved in crypto on the blockchain is that you are the bank. So as much as you see it as your bank account and you lose your PIN number, you can call your HSBC, your Barclays, your Halifax to resend you a new PIN. If you lose your private keys, no one else will be able to generate new private keys for you. So that's why what I was saying earlier on about, if you lose your device, you can always order a new device. The most important thing is making sure you keep your 12 words or your 24 words that generate, keep that as safe and as secure as possible. If you lose those, you will not be able to get a new private keys, and your crypto is just lost in the ether.
Isaac, you have a question for Damien.
Sure.
Can transaction fees be mitigated by the wallet that you use?
So I don't think I understand that.
I can help out for that. So some wallets do that now, like the Coinbase wallet. When you make transactions on the Coinbase wallet, sometimes they give you back your transaction fees. But I don't know about other wallets. And Isaac, just to add a little bit from what you said about the hardware wallet. So this is the Ledger wallet, and one of the pains or the errors I was having with my Ledger wallet a few months ago was that the screen backlight went dead, so you couldn't actually see the screen to input the code. And the only way you could get that, you shouldn't panic, because you can actually buy a new screen, probably off AliExpress or Alibaba, then switch, open it up yourself, and then you can change the screen. So you shouldn't give it out to a repairer to help you do, because they can steal your assets from you.
Very, 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 very good bit of advice. I think I saw a message pop up.
Another question in there, yeah, as well from Marie. I use a Trust Wallet and MetaMask. Are you saying it's not safe, or did I misunderstand?
No, they're perfectly safe. As long as you're using it and you've been using it for a while, Only thing that I mentioned about those two software wallets is that you haven't paid for them, so they're totally free. They I wouldn't say they'll offer the same level of as security and safety as you would get from a hardware wallet. I keep my transactions on those very low, and because I know my keys have been generated, my private keys have been generated from a digital form online, where I don't know where else it's been kept, or if I've been able to secure it in any other form. I haven't generated my private keys from my device and then written it down. It's still available online as well. So I think it's just a case of just making sure you manage your risks with using Trust Wallet. And they've now done a recent upgrade, which I haven't upgraded to, where you can have your private keys and your transaction, everything else backed up by the cloud. But you have to opt into the latest upgrade. And that raised kind of alarm bells for me, because obviously then the message that I've always been told, another message that I've been preaching is, do not put any of your transactions in regards to how you're storing your coins, your tokens, or whatever online, especially if you're going to be backing up your private keys as well. You don't want to be logging in onto a private Wi-Fi. You want to try and keep things as private as possible. So yeah, that's just the only message I can really give on using MetaMask and others. Okay, what else? Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, can I ask, like, maybe it's a very stupid question, but suppose like I bought coins from exchange, then how should I transfer that to my wallet? That's first question. And second one is, once I move that to my wallet, even if my exchange account get hacked, no one can transfer or sell that money. Is it right?
Yeah, I was just about to mention two-factor authentication, which you should have on both sides. And which wallet are you transferring? Is it a software wallet? Is it a hardware wallet you're transacting from your exchange?
Sorry, I'm very new. So
Okay.
I just opened my account last week.
Okay.
I'm just learning about this thing, like, to make sure that it will be safe. Yeah.
Okay, it'll probably be a bit difficult to use this session to go through it. There are a lot of tutorials online, or even you can jump in on the Wakanda group to ask some questions. Happy to help direct you. No one needs, if you are going to get assistance from someone who is very astute in this area, they don't need to access you. They don't need to do like a webinar to show you, log into what you're doing. They should be able to just do it over a phone call without you giving it any actual secure information. It's very straightforward. You can probably watch a few YouTube videos or even shorts that will basically talk you through the process. So if you are going to get anyone to give you support in that, just do it over a phone call without giving any information whatsoever. It's very,
And
very
Isaac, you may think about doing a session, one of our upcoming sessions. We're going to try to do these several times each quarter, maybe once a month or so. So maybe we'll think about trying to do one. We're going more in detail on different wallets and things like that. That might be a nice session for people. Sounds like
Yeah, and I'm happy to do a demo. I can put some wallets that are low risk together that I can actually show live transactions on. I've done it for a few people, so they've used it as an example to how to do their transactions. So that's easily done, and I think it's probably a lot safer for people. But alternatively, just jump on YouTube or Twitter or anywhere else, and there's plenty of videos that you can use to try it out yourself. And when you are doing your first transaction, just only send like less than $1. Just send the smallest amount. Make sure you're sending an amount. Check the keys, the last 3-4 digits of your address, the first 3 or 4 digits of your address. Send it over. It's going to cost you pennies, cents to do that transaction. And then just repeat the transaction again.
Okay. Okay, cool. Let me look into this. Okay.
No problem at all. Right, red flags. I think this kind of came up because when we was talking in one of the other groups, someone had mentioned some platforms that they had jumped on to either. Usually what you find with some of the platforms that you're going to get now, especially as Bitcoin's hit 100K, there's going to be a lot of scams going out. Coming out, there's going to be a lot of people coming up with different opportunities on how to get into crypto. They'll manage it for you. or they've got a brand spanking new opportunity where you can compound your money. You get 5% 1 month, you get 10%, that's compounded, and you get 20%, and then you're a millionaire. So what I want to, and I'll share some of these links in a group of how you can try and spot scam projects, scam tokens. There's a few websites that I've been using, one of them called Token Sniffer. I've been using that for a few years now, and that's proved very, very fruitful in identifying projects that aren't ethical. But don't use this as the holy grail, because what I've also found, and I've been scammed in crypto as well, is that even though a project or a token can be very transparent, they can be on webinars and everything else, they can still leave compromises in the back end of their contract that will allow them to make changes to what it was originally shown. And what some of these websites do is tell you if there's any compromises in the contract that will allow them, because some of them even give a rating of out of 100, out of 10 on how safe a project is. And what you want to do is be able to, once you've got a project, you can type in the website URL. One of the ones I had it saved up here, sorry, that I was using recently was called Crypto Scam DB. I will put all of these links in the chat. Really, really, really good website. It lists all of the most recent scams that have been going out, the websites. You can also report websites as well. So if you've come across a project, let's call it Forex Compound, and you can pay for this Forex Compound project with your crypto. And what some of these things do is that it's decentralized project. You can pay your crypto, no one's going to find out. And people are just paying in, and they've got Telegram groups. The community's got thousands of people in there. You'll find that the communities are bots saying the same thing. So you want to check the community out, check the project out, check it on their website, see if it meets your level of risk. If it comes up with a rating that you're not really too sure about, ignore it. There's going to be hundreds of thousands of projects that are going to be able to allow you to get into crypto that are fine, that are safe, as long as you've got the patience for some of them to take a lot longer. The ones that are promising you to make thousands of % within the next 6 months or a year are usually scams, and you will find that the community that's involved in that are usually bots or members that are part of the scam as well. So yeah, I'll share some of those ones to look out for. Other red flags that you will also find is copycats. You get a lot of copycats of projects that are very successful. Where you find the projects that are very successful, you're going to get a lot of people that are going to copy the contract of that successful project, call it something similar, they're doing the same thing, but then their contract will be very compromised. We'll have a backdoor for them to make changes as well, for you to be able to, thanks for posting that in the group, for you to be able to, for them to dump tokens on people. Let's say the project holders have let's say there's 100% tokens for available, but the project itself, they have 97% of the tokens. So the 3% that is available for the public to buy, the public buys it, and as soon as the public buys it, and it goes up to a certain price, they can dump on the public as well, because they can make changes to the contract, and contracts can be changed at any time. And these websites are really good, because they will be able to fish out for any risk in a contract that will allow people or members of the public to be targeted. What else?
I think I'll take a note on that, what you talked about there, because crypto is going up and Bitcoin's going up so much, and hopefully a lot more next year, you should expect a lot of scams. So be very careful, right? Because everybody knows, oh, there's big money coming. So, everybody's going to try to, get a piece of it. And unfortunately, a lot of people do it unethically. So just watch out for those scams.
Yeah, obviously now the mainstream media are talking about it. It's more mainstream. So it's a perfect opportunity for people to. And one of the things that I think I've seen as a common denominator is people who are not familiar with crypto but find projects that've got a real world use case in the world, and that you can basically relate to. Let's say, for example, a recent one that I was just keeping an eye on to see how it's going to go. Gold. They purchased a mine, and they were going to be able to give you a token that was linked to the gold that they were going to be mining. So you're basically saying, okay, that's very easy. I want to be able to get into gold. I want to get into crypto. I understand gold. It's got value. It's going to go up. It's been around for thousands of years. So you buy this token thinking that it's linked to that gold, but it's got no link to the gold. They've done AI generated videos of them having meetings and all sorts of stuff as well. So these, like I said, those websites are really good for you to check out to see if it's a scam or if it's ethical. And like I said, just because someone is visible doesn't mean that it's a legit project as well. So do as much research as possible. Checking exchanges as well is also important, because you will sometimes find some exchanges. You're going to see a lot of new exchanges popping up. You can always check to see if an exchange has been verified by going on CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap. And they usually have to go through a lot of due diligence before you get added onto these platforms that have been going around for a while now. So check. And you can also check the websites as well, like on the platforms the websites I mentioned as well, because you're going to get a lot of similar named exchanges on Google, and you click on the wrong one, you're obviously you think you're on a Binance, but you're not actually in the Binance. You're on a exchange that looks like Binance, but they use they've front ended the name of it. So always check if there's a misspelling. It might say Binance and have an extra I on it as well. So those are the little things to look out for as well. But like I said, you can always go to CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko to get the direct link to the exchange that you want to be transacting on. And that will always stay, that won't change. And once you've got that, bookmark it and only use that link that you're going to be using. And if you are going to be using outside of your Wi-Fi, only do it on your hotspot yourself, or you only do it at home. And if you can, if you're really, really serious about crypto, have a dedicated device that's solely used just for your transacting in crypto, whether you're using it for remittance, you're using it for trading, or you're just using it for research. What else? I think that's about it, actually, unless anyone else has got questions. Contracts, sorry. I'll also post a few websites that are Etherscan, BSC Scan, and what these are. Sorry to rush through this bit. What these are because blockchain is very transparent. It's like having some access to somebody's bank account. If somebody is going to send you $100, £100, I'm sorry, $100 USDT, you can go into their bank account and see that they have $100 to send you. So they've sent you that $100. You've now received it. You can't then go back to that person and say, I haven't received it, because they can then check your address that they sent it to see that you have received it. And what Etherscan and some of these websites do is you can track, as long as you have the address, you can track where the money's going. I've even tracked where my money has gone missing. So I've sent it to the wrong address. And this is the beauty of blockchain, because you can't hide anything. I've sent it to let's say one address I sent it to was a scam website. And I've watched my money going from one place to another place until I got bored and thought it's gone. But you can track every transaction for the entirety of its life. So that's why blockchain is an actual game changer, because you can't really hide what's going on. There's other ways of going in, and people use websites to try and wash the transaction numbers, but that's a lot more complex. And if you want to just do something very straightforward and simple, I will post all of these websites in the chat so you can have them to hand, bookmark them, and use them to get into crypto, learn more about crypto. Any questions?
Thanks, Isaac, for timing. We're about 10 minutes behind pace, I think, 10:20, but We will go a little longer. So anybody who wants to drop at that at 10:30, feel free to do that, but we will continue going. We have Azuka is going to go on about the project for NFT, and then Gwen is going to give us an update on some of the stuff she's working on and Africa blockchain. So Isaac, thanks, and then we'll do more questions at the end if we have time. If we want to stick around at the end, yeah, cool.
Yeah, all right, no problem. Thank you.
Let me let you go ahead and jump into yours. Let me allow you to be able to share. Are you going to share anything?
Yes, I'm going to share my screen.
Okay, you should be able to share now.
One second.
There we go.
Yeah, and everyone see my screen now?
Yeah, it's loading. Yep. So, yeah.
All right, it's good. So my name is Jeffrey Azuka Chekwisa, and I'm a blockchain analyst, and I've been in the blockchain industry full time since 5 years ago. And actually, I started using Bitcoin in 2016, Bitcoin and Ethereum, just for payment without knowing what we were doing, because we found the technology amazing, and we wanted to explore. And since then, I've gone into more researching, in-depth researching on how the industry works, and I've actually worked with a few startups as well. The last one being a Pokemon Go RPG style game, which launched early last year, and it's been doing good. I think I spoke about that on one of the sessions as well, about Space Catch. So now recently what we're working on is called Invincible 11 Football Manager. And what this is about, it's a football manager game which has a lot of functionalities like NFTs, where players can actually earn, it's a play to earn as well. So reasons for this game is that we've done in-depth research on a lot of football manager game, which one of the biggest industry player have about 200 million players, but people play this game just for the fun of it without earning any reward value. So we thought about how can we bring in value into the game, and blockchain, that is the work of blockchain, bringing value into things, games and all that. So we're building football manager game on the blockchain for football fans and blockchain enthusiasts. So what are the problems we're trying to solve for this game? We're trying to bring in real world value into the game, whereby players play the game, they can actually win tournaments and earn tokens and NFTs, and actually exchange those tokens and NFTs with other players and earn value from it. And the solution whereby we're using it, bringing into this game is we're using the Stellar blockchain, of which Q4 last year, we joined the Stellar blockchain startup program. We were invited, we applied, and we got invited into the blockchain program. So they gave us in-depth coaching on how to go about using Stellar to integrate into gaming projects, and how to actually use this technology in games. So why did we decide to choose Stellar? Because Stellar is very fast, and it has low transaction fees. But what would users look to see in this game is that you can, while playing this game, you can own and trade assets. Probably just to give a little bit more information about football manager games. So football manager games, they're just all about real world football games. Like in the Premier League, we have a lot of people here from the UK. In the Premier League, you have top teams like Arsenal and all that. And then we have their football manager. They manage these teams and tell them what to do on the pitch, and then the players, they play. And when they win the league, win the tournament, they get paid. They win a trophy. And those trophies in our game, those trophies are NFTs. All the players are NFTs. So you can actually sell your players from one team to another and actually earn the actual money from it. But the in-game currency will be a blockchain token, which would have value and which will be traded on different exchanges. So you can own the tokens, you can own the players, and actually sell them from one team to another and earn the reward. So like I said, our solution would be integrating NFTs and make it accessible to everyone. And so why would users
Sorry, just for those who don't know what an NFT is, you want to briefly explain it to them?
Okay, so NFTs, like you said, NFTs are non-fungible tokens. They are actually digital art, but they are all distinct in their nature. One of example I use is that I might have a 1 kg gold bar, and you might also have a 1 kg gold bar. They are both 1 kg gold bar, but what if my gold bar was signed by Donald Trump? It makes mine more valuable and distinct. So it's different. It has more value because of the personality who autographed it. So that is what NFTs are. So NFTs in our game, it would be all players are NFTs. So in that way, you can sell them from one team to another and then you earn. And you can also collect these NFTs. We're also going to be having NFT boxes, which will be our Genesis NFTs. So when you buy or own these boxes, you actually review them and you have a lot of in-game items in there, like players, the coach, like a football stadium. On all these NFTs, they have different value they could earn you in the gameplay. So that's for the NFTs. So who are we building this game for? We're building it for people who are passionate about football, and we know there are billions of football fans all over the world, and then also there are hundreds of millions of people who play Football Manager games. And also we're building for the blockchain people who love blockchain and NFT collectors, because them owning these assets, they'll be able to earn a lot of passive reward from owning our Genesis NFTs. So each time people make transactions in the game, like sell players, the game actually has a transaction fee that is connected to that, and people who own the Genesis NFTs earn passive income from those fees the transaction fee generates. So I talked about Stellar already. Like we're partnering with Stellar, and the key features in our game will be the dynamic in-game economy using NFTs for trade and then the play to earn. And it's also free to play. So when you come into our ecosystem and start as a new player and want to play the game, you just need to download our app or maybe go to our website, because it can also be played on the browser. You set up your account and you already get free players that you can start the game with. And also, it's a very comprehensive football management game. The example of a game I could use to qualify ours would be Top 11. There's a game called Top 11. Like I said, they are the biggest in the industry. They have over 200 million players who play the game. And that is the key features. We'll be having play to earn, free to play, NFT economy, and also in-game currency as well, in-game assets.
You have a question, Zuka. It says, what if I wanted to invest without playing? Just want to invest without playing.
So if you wanted to invest without playing in the game, you will be owning the Genesis NFTs boxes, because when you own the Genesis NFT box, like I said, in the game, I'll give a simple example. I own players in my team, and I want to sell my player to another manager of another team. If the manager is bidding for my player for $100 and I accept the bidding, then $20 goes to the game and $80 goes to the owner of the game. So that $20 would be set aside for all the users who own the Genesis NFT box. And also, because we also have an in-game currency, which will be our blockchain tokens, which is used in the game to make all those transactions. You can also own our token, but that token is not yet created because we're still at the early stage of development. So you can either own the NFTs and own our tokens. And you can also trade those NFTs to users who play the game. So you can collect a bunch of NFTs when it launches, during our launch, and then sell it to people who play the game. That is how you can earn from the game. So this is just a simple architecture. I really will not talk about this. This is how the NFTs and how the game infrastructure works. So this is the current market. The gaming industry, especially the mobile gaming industry, currently is around 217 billion. We got this data from Statista, CoinMarketCap, and Model Intelligence. And the serviceable available market, this information we got from CoinMarketCap. This is the total market cap of all blockchain gaming out there tokens. All the blockchain tokens in CoinMarketCap, they currently worth 22 billion. And doing our research, our serviceable obtainable market would be about 375 million. How we got this data is that we've taken the information saying if we can get 20% of the biggest player out there, which is top 11, who has 200 million players, because they don't have any way you could earn revenue from the game, but you can actually spend money in their game. If we get 20% of their users and those 20% spend $25 every year, that means we will be put at $375 million in terms of market cap. So giving our token a lot of value for investors and players alike. So for our team, we're actually a team of 8, but the core team will be the 4 guys with the picture. That is me over there. Like I said, I've got 5 years of blockchain experience, and my co-founder, who's our CTO, who's got 16 years of web development. I've known him for a long time. And Patrick here, he's here in the UK. He's just finished his master's in business analytics and worked with a lot of top companies in the UK over here. And Justice also has worked with mobile game marketing company that they've do marketing for games and also mobile phones that are good in terms of gaming. And we have a partner. We've partnered with Wimpy Games. Wimpy Games, they are a game development company here in Europe. They are registered here in the UK as well and the US. So they will be working with us in terms of the game development. So we would be totally handling the management and also the blockchain integration aspect of it. And how we're doing this, we've already set up a company here in the UK called Aruku R1B, which will be doing all this management and making sure everything goes as planned, and we're able to meet our target. And we do have a website. Currently, it's aruku.io, ARUKU.io. So if you
want to put it in the chat?
Sure, I will do that. So if you want to find us, you can actually go there, or probably you can scan this and get to our website. And yes, like I said, we did partner with Stellar in terms of using their blockchain, and we were accepted into the Stellar Community Fund program because they want to fund our project. And currently we're in the startup funding phase, and when we meet our target, they can also take us to the next stage, which they will be funding development and also the marketing. And yes, so that is for
Stellar. To note on that, so the Stellar is like the cousin of XRP.
Correct. So Stellar is about among the top 10 blockchain out there. Aside Bitcoin and Ethereum, you can find Stellar, XRP, Polkadot, and all of that. So that is this presentation about our Invincible 11 game. We would be opening our platform whereby you could buy NFTs, our NFT minting platform real soon in this first quarter. Also platform whereby we can accept private investors, and also we're also in the process of launching our forum. So we know a lot of blockchain projects go through the process of using Discord and Telegram, but we thought about if we wanted to reach a large audience, it will be beneficial if we have a forum whereby if people search on Google, they can easily find us because of SEO purpose, because I've been a big time SEO consultant. So designing this forum will also give us leverage to onboard newcomers who are not in the blockchain industry, but when they search for games like this, they can easily find us. So it's really a big potential for us to make this happen. And I'm really happy speaking here today, giving me the opportunity.
You have a couple more questions as well. Do you have a white paper And which ERC protocol is your platform based on?
So we do have a pitch deck currently. This is a simple pitch deck that we did for the Stellar blockchain. We do have our pitch deck, which I didn't want to use that for the presentation. This has more detailed information about what we're doing and what not. Like also has tokenomics. And yeah, we also have a tokenomics and all that. All these I can share maybe on the Wakanda group for everyone to see. And also you can find that on our website, which I'll put on the chat. Okay, so I can put this link on the chat as well, and people can find it. But the other question you asked?
Which ERC protocol is your platform based on? Gwen, you're next anyway. Do you want to just give your question verbally?
Hi, Jeffrey.
Yeah, hello.
Do you have a white paper? This is extremely important, I think.
Yes, so our white paper is currently on the development. We're currently writing the white paper. Like I said, the pitch deck is ready. But in terms of the ERC protocol, we are moving in the path of having it multi-chain. We want to go in the layer 2 base. We're trying to contact the base team to use base. And also, like I said, the Stellar blockchain. So we'll be on Stellar and Base, and maybe 2 other blockchain, which is not yet confirmed yet, but we want to be multi-chain to be able to accommodate the different market out there.
And the ERC protocol you're using? I missed if you said.
Sorry?
Which ERC protocol are you using for your platform?
For the ERC, the token would definitely be ERC20 for the Ethereum blockchain. Like I said, the base, it will be ERC20, but in terms of the Stellar, we're still working with the Stellar team to know what best to use. But for Stellar, we're using the...
Sorry, who don't know what ERC, that's the Ethereum protocol. So it's one of the Ethereum coin. People build a lot of things on top of that. That's what they mean.
Yeah, that's using the smart contract. So we're using Solidity, but for Stellar, we're using the Soroban smart contract. So we'll be having multi-chain, so you can then bridge from one chain to another. That's the plan. Well, so that's it for now, and I would drop the link to this document in the chat and also our website. But if there are other
if you want to drop in the
questions,
Telegram as well, that'd be good. Ali, go ahead. You have a question? No. Okay. So as a good thanks, we're going to keep going. As I said, we're going to go a little over. So anybody needs to drop what we're going to continue probably for another at least 15, 20. Gwen, did you want to go ahead and bring up your topic and introduce you here?
Sure, thank you. Hi, my name is Gwen Swan. Am I like really that blown up into the screen? I'm an author. I have several books published internationally in over 40,000 bookstores worldwide. I write about fintech, blockchain, AI, cybersecurity, and coins and tokens, smart contracts. Last year, Kevin O'Leary is an investor, is an tech-savvy investor, is from Shark Tank, and he said that fintech, AI, blockchain, cybersecurity, this is all software. It's all software, and it's now becoming within the next 5 years the biggest sector of our economy and the 12th sector of S&P, and so the prime market.
When they said you got a little bit of static in your mic, I'm not sure. It's got a little bit of static in there. Is it?
Hold on a second. Can you hear me better?
That's a little better, yeah.
Okay. And so I coined the 12th sector of the economy as the 12th estate, just like journalism is the fourth estate. I believe that fintech, blockchain, AI, cybersecurity is the 12th estate. And I wrote a book about it, explaining the different convergence of, uh, of, of fintech with AI with blockchain and cybersecurity. And I wrote another book about the genesis of a techno civilization, because we are in an era of change and transformation. And the convergence of these will completely transform our society. When we speak about coins, bitcoins, litecoins, uh, when we speak about coins, we speak um, about cryptocurrencies that have their own blockchain technology. When we speak about tokens, we speak about cryptocurrencies that are built on existing blockchain technology, such as Ethereum or on Bitcoin and many others like Polygon, and etc. And so my last book was about this year was about innovating societies, which is about the decentralization of all social contracts into social smart contracts, for example. And these are the topics that I will be talking on the next episode, call it this way.
Yeah, so Glenn will be speaking at the one of our meetups coming up here. So we'll schedule for that to go and talk more about some of the different books and things she's done. Can you also talk a bit about, I think you did Africa blockchain, you're doing that now. Can you maybe talk about your role there?
So what? What's the question?
I think Africa blockchain, I think you're doing your
Yeah, I'm the CEO of Econ FinTech, FFA Ventures. FFA Ventures is First Financial of Africa Ventures. We run an accelerator program for business startups in AI, FinTech, blockchain technology, and cybersecurity. But we're not just limited to Africa. We also have companies in Europe, Asia, Oceania. Um, and I am a very, very strong advocate of the decentralization of all social contracts. That means, for example, the renewal of your driver's license should be on blockchain. The renewal of your passport should be on blockchain. Voting should be on blockchain. Renewal of your driver's license. Your property deeds should be on blockchain, and these are all tokens, token exchange, and transaction and smart contracts. And this is where our society is evolving with all this. For example, in 2021, El Salvador elected Bitcoin as one of its official currency in the country. And
which country one was it?
El Salvador.
El Salvador
in 2021 declared Bitcoin as one of its official currency, national currency. The only country in the world that has done that. Estonia right now, Lithuania, Czech Republic, they have their own blockchain technology and, and sandbox. A lot of countries now have their own sandbox where you can start a project on blockchain. They have their national blockchain technology, and you can build on their blockchain, and they open your project to European financing. South Africa is starting. They don't really know what they're doing yet. They look at everything as cryptocurrencies, but they don't really understand that cryptocurrencies is not just a currency for transactions. It can be transactions mean is a broad word. For example, right now I am transacting with you. I'm exchanging words that without being paid in exchange, without having a crypto or a currency being transferred to me, but I am transferring knowledge. And so a transaction is a transfer of information. And this is what coins, tokens, and on the blockchain registered in smart contracts is all about. And so right now, the world is functioning in a very narrow and limited view of the utilization of these cryptocurrencies, which are simply used for trading on the market, and the market itself, by its volatility, causes the market of those cryptos to either go up or down, depending on the demand for each cryptos and how many buyers and sellers are in the market. And so there are other functions and other utilities for these currencies that we haven't yet seen, that are being used mainly by gamers, such as Jeffrey, who has his project with the football thing. And there are like a gazillion of those projects of games, and where you can use cryptocurrencies, and that exists since the 90s. There were in the 90s, actually, it started in the 90s with a game that used to with kids in Scandinavia that were using a cryptocurrency inside the game that was called ISK, and ISK, and the ISK inside the kids started to use the ISK outside of the game to trade things like a baseball bat or a glove or some cards or whatever. And it turned out that the ISK from the game was worth more than the ISK that is a fiat currency as well and in another country. And the ISK from the game started to be worth more than the real fiat that is called ISK, because of the kids trading outside of the game. And this is how crypto became for gamers a thing. But in our society, tokens and cryptos can be utilized for smart contracts, like I explained, all the smart contracts that we have with the government for our driver's license, passports, voting rights, and our property deeds, and paying our electricity, and all of that can become the prospect of cryptocurrencies in the market, in the future market. And therefore, governments with AI and cybersecurity, the governance of those governments can be decentralized eventually. Smart contracts, any contract between two people, between two individuals, can be on blockchain. You don't need anymore to have a written paper and go to a lawyer. You can actually have a smart contract between two individuals that is directly written on blockchain, and all the terms of the contracts will be secured. As the
I
CEO,
guess you're saying then basically that you see everything being on a blockchain. So like everything that people do in the real world today, whether it be buying or selling or trading or transacting or getting a house or all of that, you're seeing that all being done
absolutely,
on blockchain.
absolutely. Just like, for example, in the industry of agriculture, the problem that we have in agriculture right now, for example, is that we don't know in Africa who grows what, or in the world, who grows what, where, when, and how much, and where they sell. If we would know who grows what, if all agriculture would be on blockchain, on smart contract, and hedged as smart contracts, against tokens. Um, and all agriculture, all farmers in the world would register on blockchain what they grow. Um, well, we would know exactly what is needed to be grown in Africa or anywhere in any region of the world. Right now, the problem is that if you finance a farmer and then, like for example, a few years ago in 2019, there was a hype about lavender being a cash crop. Everybody started that grows that are farmers started to grow lavender in Europe and in America, and in such a way that the market became saturated. So if you invested your money in with a farmer that decided to grow lavender, you might have lost your money because the farmer can just switch crop from 1 year to the next. But for an investor, they lost their funds in those crops of lavender. Right now, there's a penury, there's a lack of vanilla because Madagascar was the main grower of vanilla in the world, and there was a flood, and so there's a lack of vanilla on the planet. But because this is not on blockchain, and we don't have that transparency over the market, we don't know, and nobody is growing vanilla. In South Africa, farmers could have started growing vanilla and taken over that market. But because of lack of funds, because of lack of transparency, because of lack of knowledge, that market is still stagnant. And so if we would know worldwide, for example, just in agriculture, who grows what, where, when, and where they sell, we would know exactly what's missing. And it's a big problem also because it it creates people to eat the same thing. So we all eat potatoes, broccoli, green beans, sweet potatoes, and cauliflower. And carrots, pretty much it. And the reason for that is because, and we lost thousands and thousands of staple food that are extinct and completely disappeared from the planet because all the stores sell the same thing. And so why would growers start growing something else, some other vegetables if people don't eat it in the market? And so uh, decentralization, this decentralization of everything is essential, and it's a must. For example, in real estate, if all property deeds would be decentralized, registered on blockchain, if something happened to the property deed office, God forbid, and property deed disappeared, burnt, or whatever, uh, no one could prove that you own your property, and that's a problem. Same thing for the great genealogy fire that happened in the fire of Rome. No Jewish people in the world prove prove that they come from the house of Levi or from another tribe. because all the genealogies birth in the great fire. If all the genealogies would be kept with birth certificates and passport on blockchain, then we can prove this person is the son or the daughter of so and so, and and we can trace back the genealogy. History is a science, not an art.
And Gwen, we're at
So
Phil, so what we'll do, this is kind of a preview. We're gonna have a longer session with you in the upcoming one, so we'll schedule that one where we can really go more into everything. But I want to open it for questions. If anybody has questions for Gwen or for any of the topics we had today, Zuka or the 100,000 discussion or the security or anything that we just talked about here, please ask your questions now. Let's open that up as we get towards the end of the session here. So any questions on this topic that Gwen's talking about, kind of putting everything on the blockchain, or the 100,000 Bitcoin investing, or the your wallets and hardware, or some of the projects that Zuka was talking about. Let's just go into kind of a Q&A here as we round out.
Hi, I have a quick question. Is that okay?
Go ahead.
Yeah, regarding the wallet, the physical wallet, how easy is it to transfer crypto on a physical wallet? I guess it's not going to be the same process, right? Or is it?
You transfer from
You
your
want to take that, Isaac?
to another physical wallet, you mean?
I think you broke up a little bit on the audio.
Sorry, Marie Dennis. Are you transferring from a physical wallet to another physical wallet?
No, I'm wondering, like, you were talking about the trust wallet thing and the wallet in general online. I often stop buying stuff because I'm often asked to connect my wallet to some place, and then I'm kind of freak out because I'm like, if it's some kind of scam, then I could connect my wallet to somewhere that I don't know. So that has really been limiting me. So I was thinking, when you were talking about the physical wallet today, if I had a physical wallet when I could have all of my crypto in anyway and just use the trust wallet or whatever whenever I want to buy things. So even if I buy something wrong, there would never be anything in there because I will transfer it to the thing. So I was wondering, how easy is it to transfer any assets that you have on the blockchain onto like a physical like key? Is that straightforward?
Exactly the same process. It's not complex at all. What can be more complex, if you know how to use MetaMask, you can have a kind of a dummy profile that doesn't actually link to your physical wallet. So if you still wanted to use that integration, but if you're using Trust Wallet and you want to move it over to your physical, is exactly the same process as you're doing now. From where you're moving it, whether it's from an exchange or you're buying, as long as you've got the address, make sure that token that you've got is available on your is one of the available tokens on your hard drive on your physical wallet. You can pre-check in advance to see if it has that token available. Otherwise, there is a way of holding it on, for example, on your MetaMask, and having it appear so it looks like you've got it on your hard wallet, because that's where the private key is stored. But that might be a little bit more complex to go into now, I think, John, than me
Yeah, I
trying.
think we'll do a whole session on it coming up here, so we'll
Okay,
go a lot
thank
more
you.
into that. But Marie, does that answer your question?
Yes, like yeah, I guess so. I think the tricky thing is, like you said, is adding stuff or not transferring stuff that is not there, because do you lose it if it's like on the blockchain? I don't want to lose anything when I'm transferring things. That's what I'm a bit worried about. That's why I was asking, is it straightforward, or is there a possibility that you could lose things if you don't do it properly?
Yeah, obviously, there's always that risk of
Yeah.
So if I can add, it's all about the blockchain you're using. So let's say, for example, you're transferring a token from your MetaMask to your hardware wallet. Say that token is from SRP. All you need to do is to install the SRP on your hardware wallet. But there are ways, because some hardware wallet has limited space, like the memory. I think the Ledger S has more limited space, so you can install it, transfer it over there, and uninstall it so as to save space. So you can uninstall or install different blockchain when you want to use them, even though you might not see the token, but each time you install them, you would eventually see your token. So they're still going to be there.
Okay,
Well,
thank you.
like John said, we can have a different session for that to show you how to install and uninstall and get all those wallet addresses out.
And we have a question for Gwen from Damien. How do you reconcile the EU's GDPR and the right to privacy for individuals with a vision of total transparency via the blockchain?
The EU has new policies with respect to the total transparency. We reconcile that with zero knowledge. Zero knowledge means that, for example, in the field of health, I'm also CEO of a company called CureLogic. We created an AI that will detect in individuals' DNA their genetic diseases, and then the AI will reduce in the DNA, rewrite in the RNA the codes, the genetic code to eradicate the genetic disease, and the AI will create a generic drug that labs we work with will create specifically for that individual. And for example, we keep records with MedRec in the blockchain, and these records are sealed and locked, and so we have records pertaining to individuals, but we have zero knowledge of their personal information. It is tied to the information of the patient as a number, but there's zero knowledge with respect to where the person lives, the phone number, the email, whatever, their age, and what they do for a living, how much they earn. All that information is non-existent. And that's how we do reconcile with respect to the new policies in Europe with respect to the transparency of knowledge information about people. It's called zero knowledge base.
Maybe answer your question. And Marie, we also continue discussion in the Telegram group. So I posted that back in the chat. We have the running discussion there every day of different things that are happening. Africa diaspora, blockchain, all kinds of different topics. So please do check that out as well. Any other questions on any of the topics today? Very good. All right, so we're almost at the top of the next hour here. We're planning to have probably at least a couple every quarter. It might be maybe one a month or so. So we'll start doing a lot more of the live sessions. Gwen has one coming up. Hopefully Isaac will talk about, like we said, how people can actually set up all their software and hardware wallets, other topics. As I know there's all kinds of different projects that are out there as well. And we should have a lot of other guest speakers. So if you have people or topics that you want to suggest, let us know. You can also let me know directly or in the chat in the Telegram or in the Meetup group. And great having you guys here. Hope you guys all, one thing I think I want to leave everybody with, let me see if I can just go back to that slide that I started with here really quickly. Give me a moment if I can find it. Here we go. Okay, I really want to leave you guys with that little chart. Maybe I'll even paste this into the group. Right, so we've passed through the yellow, right? You can see every time the yellow things start running up, we've already run up to 100,000. You guys know that. This orange or burnt orange or whatever you want to call it, which is the fall, this is the time when things just go crazy in terms of price. So this year, hopefully, God willing, no guarantees or promises, but historically speaking, this year of the halving is, plus having a very pro-crypto administration coming in the US, we expect this to be a time when a lot of wealth can be made. For people. So this is really the time, the year to as they say, make hay while the sun shines. So obviously the blue, what should be 27, unless we have a super cycle, it'll probably start to, or sorry, 26. It might start to go back down. So be aware of that, you know, take your profits, but be aware of where we are in this overall kind of like the seasons of crypto. This is a really good year, hopefully, we expect, for, you know, the opportunity to make a lot of wealth in this space. Just watch out for the scam. So anyway, we'll see you guys for the upcoming sessions. Thanks everyone for joining. Thanks, Gwen. Thanks, Duca. Thanks, Isaac. And thanks everyone. Yep.
Thank you.
I said thank you.
Yeah,
Good one.
yeah.
Yep.
Have a nice day, everyone.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.